Hey everyone, all right, now we are still on Zimbabwean political news. Now I am taking you straight to Triple C. Now, Triple C President Nelson Chamisa was being interviewed and he spoke about a lot of things, but I am going to draw your attention to the Gold Mafia issue. We know when this Aljazeera documentary started to air, there was a document, part of a document that started to circulate on social media showing that at one time, Triple C President Nelson Chamisa was representing one of the gold mafias, who was exposed by Al Jazeera. And a lot of people started to say, is it the reason why Nelson Chamisa is not even talking about the gold mafia? He is sending other people to talk on his behalf. He's not even coming out to condemn it. Is it because there's some, he's aligned or, is his client or his friends to one of those gold mafias? To which, during the interview, Nelson Chamisa said, forget about those allegations. I am just an advocate who was doing their job, okay? I have no relationship. I have no personal friendship. I don't even know what you guys are talking about, all right? So let me attach for you what Nelson Chamisa said, and I give credit to the owner of the interview. My name is Ziki, and if you're new to the channel, why don't you take this opportunity to subscribe and stay so that you don't miss on this and more. Until then, take care.
Some presidential spokesperson has accused you of, said your silence is partly sponsored by the fact that one of those implicated in the Gold Mafia scandal was or is still your client, and you have a relationship with him, and therefore your tongue is tied.
Well, first of all, my tongue is not tied. Secondly, I have no relationship with any of those actors in the Gold Mafia. Thirdly, the presidential spokesperson doesn't know how lawyers function, particularly advocates. In any event, I was not the one who was responsible in that matter. That was an Advocate Mpofu matter. And as far as I know, Advocate Mpofu is one of the finest advocates in the country. And he acts for his clients. And I'm not accountable for that. I did my privilege at the Advocates Chambers. So I would work with Advocate Mpofu, not as the plead or principal advocate, but assisting and under the pupillage. So it was in the context of that we presented and we acted in that matter, not as my client. In any event, advocates actually do act on behalf of law firms, and they don't have personal relationships with the so-called clients. I would not speak on behalf of Advocate Mpofu, but I can tell you that there's nothing untoward. That matter had nothing to do with gold. It had nothing to do with corruption. It was a trademarks issue. And we'll continue to discharge our responsibilities to the best of our ability in the interests of justice, to the ends of justice, because we have always stood on the side of justice.
Put differently, do you have a relationship with Radland?
No relationship at night, during the day, now, or ever in the past. No relationship whatsoever. Of course, like I said, I sympathize with presidential spokesman George Charamba. He doesn't know how the League of Fraternity functions. I think you would be better educated to understand how advocates function. But I can tell you that there's no relationship, there's nothing untoward. We have a clean life. And if those who would want to be represented really feel that they've got pertinent issues, Advocate Mpofu is there to represent them. You has represented us, you will represent any other. ZANU-PF, MDC, Mr. Monzora loves to be in the courts, or Triple C, we're hardly in the courts. There's nothing to do with parties. It's all to do with justice.
At one point, lawyers who are also members of your political party have been accused of actually standing in and representing people who have been brought to court over allegations of corruption, which as the party you have said that you are totally against. Now, where do you draw the line, the morality of being a principled politician and a lawyer looking to feed his or her family?
Fighting for justice is a principled position. Fighting for the downtrodden and the oppressed is a principled position. The jury is still out on one who has been accused or alleged to have performed or committed an act. That has to be determined by the court. But the fact that we deprive people of their legal representation is not something that can ever be imagined. If anything, we as a party, we don't run individual private practices of lawyers. It's a professional obligation and duty. Of course, our members have never been entangled in supporting or promoting corrupt people. I've said this on record, and this allegation does not wash, particularly when it comes to our members of the CCC.
I just want to take you to aspects of, you know, the problems that we have. And you've spoken about the problems. You've been accused again of not having solutions and not profiling solutions. In fact, you have been called ideologyless, structureless, and as dead as a dodo. Now let's talk about that.
Well, I'm so glad that you have this charge sheet of accusations. Now, why would you come to the accused who seems to be so useless and structureless? The only reason why people say that is that to whom much is given, much is expected. We have been given the support by Zimbabweans, and of course they expect much, and we will be able to deliver that much. Watch the space. The election is coming. We will prove. We will, as we have proved, look at the by-election. We had close to about 28 by-elections in this country for the parliamentary election. We did 19 out of 28. That's big. For the ward elections, we had about 149. 89 out of 149. That's not small. That's big. That tells you that we are people of substance. We are a citizen movement. In any event, it's not about us, the leaders. It's really about the base. It's really about the citizens themselves. They are the ones who are responsible for the trajectory of this movement. And they are happy. We are happy. The direction is good. The momentum is good. We have made significant scores on the parliamentary front, on the local government front, and we continue even to make significant inroads, particularly across the countryside. We have our footprint in all the four corners of our country, in all the provinces. It's all yellow. And we are turning this nation yellow in a big way. So yes, people will say all sorts of things and all sorts of accusations, but we are very clear when it comes to policies. We had in our Yester party,